Hello. And firstly, I'd quite like to apologise that it's been so long since my last video. A lot has happened, just with busyness with me and different changes, and I kind of thought now is the perfect time to do another video and kind of catch you guys up on where I'm at. So yeah, here it goes. So firstly, I have completed my 12 weeks at First Steps. Yeah, that happened about a month ago now. So it was really the end of July, around the 18th, 19th of July. That was when my last session with First Steps was. The last few weeks were tough because I had to make the decision whether to continue or not, which was really hard because I found lots of positives with First Steps, but then there were some things that were just, for me personally, it was just wasn't the right thing. So positive things about my experience with First Steps was my drama therapy. Even though I only had 12 sessions, I saw real potential in the work that they did with me, which was really good. It was just so creative, and it was just the way I thought, and she really worked with what works best for me, and it wasn't just sit down and talking to a therapist. It was a lot more doing in it, and creative stuff, which I personally rather. But so that was one of the main things. The LEAP project was really helpful for me, because I guess I didn't realise how much I didn't notice how much I did small amounts of over exercising, how much that became a huge part of my routine, that I didn't notice it, and it became just normal to me. So that was really good, and it really talked about the thinking process and the thoughts that go on in your head when that happens. So that made me a lot more aware of that. The meal support was really helpful, because I now know a different approach to meal support, which I can see being way more helpful, because one, they eat with you. When I've been in hospital, every time I've been watched eating, someone just sitting, watching me eating and sitting with me after, which is really horrible. It's just not normal. It's not real. So that was really helpful. They encouraged normal eating, not like you have to eat everything on your plate, or else there's consequences. It was very much just say I didn't finish something, they would have been like, right, well, why haven't you finished that? And questioned it, and if I didn't want to eat it, they wouldn't have forced me. There was nothing, no consequences. It was like, right, okay, we'll try again tomorrow. But sometimes they challenged, well, quite a lot of the time, especially if I was in the right kind of mindset, they challenged my eating disorder and my thoughts, and were like, well, if your eating disorder says that you can't finish that, well, why do you have to listen to your eating disorder? Why can't you listen to Mary? So it was, things like that were really helpful. It just wasn't intense enough for me, and that was after a lot of thinking and reflecting. I loved First Steps, I really did. It was very helpful in some ways, and I don't regret it. I got so much out of it, and for that I'm really, really grateful for the money that was raised, for getting me over there, and for me, just meeting people that have recovered just was hope. It was visual hope, because I had never seen that before. I'd never met anyone who had recovered. Everyone, all the health professionals told me, oh no, you'll get there, but I just had never seen it in real life and heard people's stories and how they struggled just like I was. Um, so that was just so helpful. So for me, I'm still staying in touch with First Steps. I'm going to be getting like Skype calls and things like that. So for me, it's not a closed door. I don't know if I'll ever go back to it, but it was perfect for that in between time that I don't know what it would have happened to me. I was really, really, really struggling at home, and it was something for me to focus on. It just wasn't intense enough for me. I was getting meal support once a day, which would be really, really good for a lot of people, and I can see it helping so many people. But for me, I need a lot more help, and that's why I made the decision, a really, really tough decision, because I found it really hard, and no one could make the decision for me, even though I was like, help me guys, help me. I needed to make the decision for myself. So I finally came to the decision, and after the 12 weeks I said my goodbyes and came back. I had to drive my car, so I came back and then drove my car back a couple of weeks later. So I'm now back for good. At the minute at home. So yeah, that's kind of the First Step side of things. After that, I went on a holiday with a very close friends that I've known for a while. It's just a couple, and they've got a little girl. So I went on holiday with them, but it was just, I guess times like that make me realise that you can't just, my eating disorder is not going to just disappear. It follows me it's a part of me, it follows me wherever I go. And when I went on holiday, when I was thinking about going on holiday, I was like, well, at least that'll be a time where there's no intensity, there's no, it's just somewhere I can relax and forget about my eating disorder stuff for a while. That doesn't happen because my eating disorder follows me. It's going to be there, and I guess I was disappointed when I went, and I was struggling so much. But yeah, so I went there, but didn't last long. It was so hot. It went up to 44 degrees a lot of, like, the time, 40 degrees, 42 degrees, and the high 30s, like, so during the morning it would be just so hot, and then it would get hotter in the afternoon, and it was still hot in the evening. It was just, I just couldn't breathe. My heart was palpitating like loads. I just physically struggled, and it was on the apartment we were staying on was on a big hill, so I couldn't even get to the pool, which was down at the bottom of the hill. We were like the mid part of the hill. Like, the car, when we were driving back and the car was going up the hill, it struggled on second gear, and that made me like, okay, if the car's struggling, then like it made me feel a little bit better, because I was struggling so much. But yeah, physically I was just really, really not doing good, and I wasn't outside hardly any of that time because it was just so hot. And yeah, I was really, really worried about me physically. I don't think it was a 10-day holiday, and I just couldn't do it, so I ended up having to go back and making the decision on, I think it was, we went on the Monday, and by the Wednesday I had made the decision, I think, and the next flight was on the Friday, so I got home on the Friday, and I guess that experience just made me feel like, oh my goodness, my eating disorder ruined so much of my social life. I struggle a lot to do a lot, and that was just it was just one of those reminders to me that yeah, this is tough. And right now, things that are normal, like going on holiday and to be able to just have fun, I just couldn't do. But yeah, so that was hard, but it just made me realise that even like how difficult it is to live with an eating disorder, and how it's not going to go away overnight. Even though I wanted to, it's not. It'll take time. And then when I came back, I just had to get stuff ready because my brother was getting married in a couple of weeks. So on Friday there, so it's actually Saturday, so a week and a day ago, my brother got married to his beautiful wife now. So I was just very much aware of that and worried about that because I struggle a lot with social anxiety. So being around a lot of people is very overwhelming for me, and I just, as much as I want to be able to talk to people in a normal way, I just struggle with that. And I'm sorry for anyone that's watching this that maybe was at the wedding and I seemed odd. I don't mean to. I get very overwhelmed. My head starts shouting things at me, and it's very, very difficult. Even when it came to like food, my brother had organised for me to like have a salad, but I panicked about that. I was so aware of people watching me, even though people probably weren't, but my head was shouting and screaming at me, and I was so overwhelmed. So yeah, I was so happy for them though, and yeah, so they're married now, and yeah, right now I'm kind of in a limbo stage. I don't really know what's happening with me. I was in hospital yesterday. I came out of hospital yesterday. I went in the day before because my potassium was quite low, at 2.3. And they got that back up to normal range, and yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. And I don't really know, there's talk that I might end up back in the psychiatric ward. For me that's better than going away, because I'm just too scared to go away after my last experience, and leaving the family is really, really hard. And yeah, so right now I'm in limbo, and I've been talking to my eating disorder psychiatrist, and he's trying to help me and trying to make plans maybe and things like that. So right now I'm kind of in a limbo stage. I'm really, really struggling, really, really, really struggling, but trying to stay afloat. I thought because my potassium is at a normal stage, I'm going to do a video today because I'm really, really wanted to do it for ages, but I guess I've just been so physically really struggling, and really struggling mentally to get the motivation and concentration to do an update. And the update is there's probably so much more I haven't said and so many more details, but yeah, that's kind of in a general way what's been going on over the past month. I hope to have more information about what's happening to me next, but I thought I would by now, which is really frustrating. So I just want a decision to be made, and so I can mentally prepare for it, but I don't know. But yeah, I really, really want to do more videos, so I'm going to really try. But thank you anyway, and I hope you are all well. Thank you. Bye.